guys, Nick with CPF Boxing. So I've done a preview and prediction of Usyk versus Dubois in the second fight. I'm just going to look at the undercard now. So I know I've done a previous video saying the undercard's naff. It might have been a bit strong, but I'm going to stand by saying it's just not on paper. So they could turn out to be the best fights ever, all of them. Personally, I think a couple of them could be really good fights. But on paper, as someone that's paying 25 quid, as I keep mentioning, it's just not the best card. So I'm going to stand by that. I'm not going to change my opinion because other people are saying, "Oh, we're being spoiled." You know, this is a card that may have been like a standard card a few years ago. It's not. That is then. This is now, as Hatebreed once said. On the rise of brutality, good old them. This is now, yeah. So again, with the low blow thing I'm talking about Usyk, that's the past. This is now. So we'll take that mindset into what I'm talking about now. So we are in current day. We're not in 3-4 years ago. £24.99 is a lot of money. So they're going about people illegally streaming stuff, movies, fights or whatever. You know, whichever way you look at it, it is stealing. Do you know what I mean? It is stealing. It's just something you should pay for and you're just taking it. But I understand why it happens. So judge me morally on that statement. I understand why it happens. You know, I'm not saying whether I do it myself, but I understand why it goes on because people have the passion for the sports. They want to see it. So if they can have a dodgy face tick or whatever, they'll do it, especially if you're charging 25 quid for a pay-per-view. However, I'm 100% buying the pay-per-view for this one. I do for the big fights anyway. So there's a line in The Equalizer 1, I think it is. I think it's Equalizer 1 or 2 with Denzel Washington. Brilliant films. Even the third one's great. If you want a really good action movie, watch The Equalizer. Fucking awesome. Denzel Washington's the man. But there's a line where he says, "They pay, they say." So I'm paying for this one. So I can say whether I think it's a good card or not. My opinion, no one said it's a great card, to be fair. You know, people have said it's not the best, but it's not terrible. I don't think it is terrible. I'm not saying it's a terrible undercard. Just a bit naff, a bit disappointing, a bit underwhelming. Like I said, it would have changed it all for me if they would have had a co-main event that was just a bit more exciting. Lawrence Okolie versus Kevin Loren is all right. It's quite interesting. Daniel Lapin versus Louis Edmondson, for me, is probably the most exciting fight on the undercard because I like Daniel Lapin. I think he could be a problem in his division, definitely, not just because of his size, just because he's like traditional Soviet style and all that. He trains with Usyk. Usyk's picking him up. Vladislav Serenko, I'm looking forward to seeing him. He's fighting Dakers now, not Nowitzki. I'm not bothered at all about the first two fights. I'll watch the whole card from top to bottom because I'm a cheap bastard, I guess, and I'm paying for it. So as much as I burn, I will watch every single fight on it. I'm going to make a night of it. Get the popcorn out. Have some hot dogs. You know what I mean? Have a couple of cans of beer. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I'm going to watch it. So it's not a full-on attack on the card. Just could be better. I'm standing by that. It's not the best card, really, compared to other cards we've had recently. Yeah, a few years ago, we weren't getting any of these fights. We are now, so it's at Wembley. It'll be nearly 100,000 people. I just thought the card would maybe have an extra 1 or 2 fights on it, and the overall quality would be another just a couple of really big fights. Not like, you know, headliners, but just, I don't know, something more interesting. Anyway, so Lawrence Okolie versus Kevin Loren. So my prediction for that one, I know Kevin Loren has got power and he's dropped Dubois before. He's got a good shot on him. He's much smaller from what I gather than Lawrence Okolie. I just think Lawrence Okolie could at some point be a champion, a world champion at some point. It may be a few years, and again, it might be an outlandish statement, but I think he's better in this weight division. I don't know how he made cruiserweight. It could be an exciting fight, to be honest. I think it could be an exciting fight, but I think Okolie will stop Lorena. Based on Okolie's last fight as well, the last couple of fights, he's just been sort of destroying guys with that extra size, and maybe he's at home in heavyweight division, so I think Lawrence Okolie, I think he'll stop Kevin Lorena. What round? I'm not too sure. Rounds 8 to 10. So I think Okolie will stop Lorena rounds 8 to 10. Lorena could stun Okolie. He's got a good shot on him. But I think ultimately Okolie gets hand raised. Daniel Lapin versus Louis Edmondson. For me, this is quite easy. No disrespect to you, Louis Edmondson, but I'm going to go with Lapin. He looks on his box rec, he looks fucking about 11 years old. He's actually a fully grown man. He's 6'6". His knockout ratio's not high, but he's won 11 fights. He's got 4 knockouts. He's not been defeated. He's highly regarded by Usyk. He trains with Usyk. I've seen some training footage. He's a bit of a beast. Clearly, for the light heavyweight division, he's a bit of a freak. I mean that in a nice way. He's just so fucking tall and rangy. He could be a problem. I think he'll do very well in that division. I think he'll stop Louis Edmondson. So despite the fact I've said it's not the best card on paper, it could be exciting, you know. I think he'll stop Lewis Edmondson. Lewis Edmondson, I'm not seeing much of him. He looks good from what I've seen. I just think Daniel Lapin, this guy, he'll string together a few wins and people will start talking about him in that division as a bit of a problem. If he can keep making that weight, it must be hard to make the weight when you're 6'6". I think Lapin will stop Edmondson. I'm confident of that. I think that on the undercard, the most confident I am about any of the fights is Lapin stopping Lewis Edmondson. We'll see what happens. Vladislav Sirenko versus Solomon Dakers. It's a pretty good fight. It's all right. It's quite interesting. I'd have preferred Sirenko versus Nowitzki. Alas, that's not happening. So I've got Sirenko versus Dakers. Dakers very talented. He uses his left arm a lot. Controls range. He seems to come from a good caliber. His last fight, though, the X factor for me in this one, his last fight was such a brutal knockout against David Adelaide. Vladislav Sirenko, he's been about for a while now. This could be his coming out party to an extent. This could take him up a notch, get him a bigger fight. Aggressive, powerful, and one thing I've noticed from watching tape on him, when he senses a finish, he jumps straight in there. When he senses blood in the water, smells blood in the water, he's like a shark of some description, probably great white or a hammerhead. Tiger shark, they're quite brutal. Cocaine shark, if you've seen the film. Yeah, I think Sirenko will win that one against stoppage. So I'm predicting a few stoppages. So again, on paper, it's not a good card, but at least I'm open to it. It might be exciting fights. So I think Sirenko will work his way inside and he'll hit Dakers with something to stun him and finish him off, as he has done in a lot of his other fights. Adam Hamid versus Ezekiel Gregorish. I mean, with Adam Hamid, I really don't have that much interest in this fight. Like I say, I'm going to watch it because I'm paying for it. And fair play to him. He's Naz's son. I get that side of it. Naz, how good was he in his heyday? How good was he? Just his style, how exciting he was, his breath of fresh air. He might have pulled a few strings, but Adam Hamid is 5-0, 3 knockouts. He's fighting Ezekiel Gregorish, who is 3-24-0. So I'm going to watch that fight, but I'm not that bothered about it, to be fair. Same with the other fight, which is Lasha Guruli versus James Francis. So Lasha Guruli, I think, if I remember correctly, he's 1-0. We'll just double check that. He's fighting James Francis. Yeah, Lasha Guruli, Georgian professional boxer. Amateur, 67 amateur bouts, 21 knockouts. Very experienced amateur. So he's now pro. He's 1-0 as a pro. And he's fighting James Francis next to 7-1-0. So again, could be exciting, but on paper, I don't know who either of them are. Boxing diehards probably do. I don't. So again, for 25 quid, I don't know who they are, but I could watch it and think it's one of the best fights ever. On the Catterall, Callum Eubank card, Fraser Wilkinson, never heard of him, Scottish lad. Watch his fight, fucking awesome. So some of these people you've never heard of, it could be a great fight. And that's it really. So that's the undercards. Yeah, I'm going to stand by what I said. It's not the best undercard on paper. I could stand corrected, and I hope I do. I hope that if I do a review, I'm saying these are fucking fantastic. I'll put my hand up and stand corrected. I don't like being critical for the sake of it. I don't think this is for the sake of it. I feel like I've had a look at the card. I've spoke to other people. No one's really said the card's awesome. I think Adeola Depot said it's a solid card. Undercard, which is his opinion. He obviously knows what he's talking about. I really enjoy his podcast. Anything he puts out. Same with G-Man. He didn't say it's terrible. He said it's good enough. And they're very reasonable opinions. All I'm saying is it's a bit naff. I'm not saying it's shit or terrible or anything. I'm saying it's a bit naff for 25 quid. But I'm very open and I'm hoping that I stand corrected on a couple of these cases. First two fights, I'm not looking, the excitement level's very low. Then it goes up gradually towards the main event. Obviously, it's all about the main event. I understand that, but it'd be good if you just had a few more ribbons and bows on it. Call me moaning, that's fine. Every card can't be like the 5 versus 5 card, or every card can't have every single fighter, title fight or whatever. But that's my opinion really on the undercard and those fights. So what I would take from that is Akoli will notch up another win, although Lorena will be tough. And Daniel Lapin could be the future, and I think I'm pretty confident, possibly out of all the fights on the card, that he will beat Edmondson. But best of luck to all of them. I'm looking forward to it. It's the open workout tonight. You can't get anything from the open workout, can you really? They'll dance around a bit. I'm sure contractually they have to do that. It's part of the media obligation. They'll dance around a bit, hit the pads. Usyk might dance if they put some traditional Ukrainian music on or something. Dubois has been very shouty. He was shouting in Usyk's face yesterday. I don't know if Usyk's that bothered by that. He's He's not. I don't think he's used to that. I think Tyson Fury, he said greedy belly, shouting in my face, but he sort of disregarded that. I think he'll disregard this as well, really. I hope both guys are fired up. I hope Daniel Dubois is obviously fired up. Hopefully he doesn't try too hard to show that he's fired up. We know he is. Just concentrate on the fight now. Usyk, he'll do his Usyk thing and he'll just disregard a lot of the nonsense. And I'm sure he's like Ade said as well, he's locked in it. See. Tomorrow is the press conference, which again, looking forward to that. It's on DAZN. Like I'm enjoying the DAZN subscription to an extent so far. It's all right. I'll catch up on the football more. I can't believe they have pillow fighting championship. I'm sure I saw pillow fighting championship. Unless I've been smoking crack or something, or I dreamed it up. I'm sure there's professional PFC pillow fighting championships. Anyway, I'm digressing. Not the best undercard, but I'm hoping I've proven wrong in a couple of these fights. The funny thing is, it's not the best, but I can actually see finishes in definitely the Adam Hamid fight. Because he's fighting somebody with a terrible record. The Guruli Richardson one, I don't really know too much about, so I can't comment. I can see Curly stopping Lorena. I can see Lapin stopping Edmondson. I can see Serenko stopping Daker. So if anything, hopefully some stoppages. There could be some quick fights on this card. So they might have to fill up a bit of time with the pundits chatting or waffling on or whatever, which is fine as well. I'm sure the whole presentation will be great. But like Denzel says, they pay, they say. I'm paying for it. I'm going to have an opinion on it, which is cool. So that's me for the undercard. Like, comment, subscribe, give me your thoughts. Anything you agree with or disagree with, whatever, that's fine. Let's chat about it, exchange ideas. We all love the sport. We're all passionate about it, which is great. I'm going to go now. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace. Thanks for watching. And Nick CPF Boxing.